Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bayside and Port Washington Live TV. We are continuing our series of pre-debate discussions. We've got a number of wonderful people that are going to join us, and we're just going to talk a little briefly about the debate, but how things are going in general, and also some of the things that are happening for us online. But everybody, these are rough, crazy times, just crazy times. And the discussions get incredibly passionate and very polarized. I don't know that I've ever witnessed our country being as polarized as it is now. But we all want to be good American citizens, and we all want to make sure you get out there and vote. Doesn't matter what side you're on, you get out there and vote, because that's the most important part of our process here. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for continuing to support us with what we're doing here in Bayside and Port Washington, and also for everyone that is part of our social media groups, our Bayside Queens group especially. I'm very, very happy with the way things have been going. We've got wonderful moderators that are watching over the group. The discussions are better all the time, and it's such an informative thing. So Facebook Bayside Queens are very, very pleased with the way that's been going. And with that, one of the people that's been moderating and making sure that goes well is Camille. Hey, Camille.
Hey there. How are you, Greg?
Fine. How's my guidance counselor?
Doing the best. I'm holding up.
How's my emotional support friend?
Always here for you.
So everybody should know, whenever things get too much for me, I call Camille, and all of a sudden there's this beautiful voice of reason and this calming and soothing and also this beautiful wisdom that just kind of puts me into a wonderful place. I'm like, oh, thank you, Camille. Thank you so much. And Camille, thank you for the great job that you and Dan and Cassie have been doing watching over the Bayside Queens group. That's always been a rough thing. It's a lot of people to keep to keep calm and in a smooth operating order. And you guys have been doing great, keeping everyone to the rules. So I want to thank you so much. I love what you've been doing, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And we like helping you and giving you a little breather too.
Thanks. Let's bring Cassie in. Cassie, also, same with you. You're helping with the Bayside Queens group. It's been one of the things that's helped keep it stabilized and on track and not getting too crazy and letting people run away with it. And I appreciate your help there and the work that you're doing out for all of us in Port Washington and expanding our reach, but the work you're doing out there. For everybody who doesn't know it, Cassie, and with all of her work with us here in Bayside, is also doing Port Washington Live TV and is uncovering hot stories and breaking news and becoming such an integrated part of the community. And everybody's looking at her like the local star. So thank you, Cassie. Everybody's loving what you're doing. And just before I let you speak, and you're doing a great job doing that comedy show. The comedy show that we started here in Bayside, we wanted to continue, and with the pandemic kind of put that on hold. And Cassie's bringing one to Port Washington, and it's looking great. It's this Saturday. Everybody should come down. So,
it's this Friday.
Friday. You only thought I said Saturday. I meant Friday. I meant Friday. Yeah. So tell us. First of all, thank you again, Cassie, for all the work and everything you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to do it. It is something that I love and I take very passionately. Port Washington, as some of you may know, is now my home base, my hometown. I moved here 4 months ago. We couldn't be happier. Great town, great place. I invite all of you to leave your politics at the door and come visit Port Washington. It's a great little community. If you haven't been, check it out. And of course, see some of our stuff on Port Washington Live TV. We're doing some really great stuff. And one of the things that I'm super excited about is this comedy show. It's my first real production in the pandemic and in Port Washington. It is tomorrow night at 7:30. And we have Marcy Green, who's actually one of our local Bayside comedians who usually does a lot of stuff at Hatfields. She's going to be joining us tomorrow. And I have 2 local Port Washington residents who are also going to be performing, and then a bunch of other comedians that some have seen before and some are new to us. So I'm really excited. And the admission is absolutely free to get into the band. It's an outdoor venue, and all the proceeds raised, whether it be through our raffle or through donations, go to the John Philip Sousa Memorial Band Show, which is where the comedy show will take place. And we just want to thank them because they've given us a stage and a platform to put on all these great performances and children's plays and music productions throughout the pandemic. So this is our way of sort of repaying them for allowing us to still have somewhat of fun during this pandemic. But it's a good time. It's a good time for everybody to sort of get out of politics mode and watching the news on repeat in the background. And it's nice. Everyone could use a little bit of a laugh and smiles and a good time.
Everyone could.
Yeah.
We all need a good laugh.
We do.
And listen, while Cassie is she's a little different breed. She's an executive producer and part of our corporation. And on our corporate side, and producing multiple shows and really running the show out there in Port Washington for us, we do allow other people and have invited anybody who's out there. One of the things that we do is we're here to be a service to the community and to give the community a voice, to connect community to communications and allow you to control your voices and the voice of your community and play a part of it. So we give everyone the opportunity, and we facilitate them with everything that you need to have a show of your own. And a little later on, Jimmy James, who a lot of people have known, Jimmy has grabbed that opportunity, and he's going to be going out to people and just out on the street, interviewing people and getting their thoughts. And that's Jimmy, and he'll be here later in tonight's show. But he'll be coming in with his own show later. But one of those other wonderful people, someone that I have the highest regard for, Adam Barnett. And let's bring Adam. Adam has a show of his own. And Adam, let's bring Adam.
What's up, guys? How is everyone?
Everyone's good. Everyone's talking about your show. We love what you're doing. They're talking to everybody. Adam's show, I'm going to let him talk. But Adam's show is great. It's like, if you have something to say, come and talk to Adam.
Come and talk to me.
Come and talk to Adam, So, the commonsensical. I totally love the name. And you see the thing down there on the graphic says "Be Heard." That's really our thing with Bayside Live TV and now Port Washington. If you want to be heard, we will give you a show and give you a microphone and set you up with your own show of your own. So feel free to ask. But Adam, really good to see you.
Good to see you too, Greg. Everyone, I never met. I'm sorry. What was your name? I forgot. I never met
Camille.
Camille.
Hi, Camille. I'm sorry.
You never met Camille before.
How are you, Adam?
Hi, Camille. How are you?
Am I lax here? Camille, I'd like you to meet Adam. Adam, I'd like you to meet my shaman, my Lord and Master, my wisdom channel, Camille.
Yeah. Good to meet you, Camille.
Nice to meet you, Adam.
Even if it's like this, it's still nice to meet you.
It's still better than nothing.
I agree 100%. So everybody's good. The show's going well. What is the discussion tonight? Is there any subject, or are we just?
Well, because we kind of preempted what you were going to do, this cancer show that we're so looking forward to.
Correct.
But because you looked at the timing, and because it's the presidential debate is on tonight, kind of what we did the first time that you joined us in on. We want to talk a little bit first. We just want to do a little general discussion, but we want to talk about the debate and what we expect to see from it, what we don't, and what we're thinking, what our thoughts are about the debate. I'm gonna let Cassie lead off with that, because Cassie, I think, speaks for so many people out there with her feelings about it, and about the fatigue that we're all setting in. But Cassie, so how are you feeling about the debates and everything, Cassie?
Thank you for the close-up, Diana. So I will be honest, after the last two debates, the presidential and the vice presidential debates that I watched, and I watched them all, and I sat through what seemed like an actual physical attack on both nights. I've decided that, yes, I'm probably going to watch tonight's debate, because as a reporter, host, producer of a show, I probably would be very discredited if I didn't. However, I will say that I think it is just almost as bad as watching a really bad reality show. And I think that a lot of people, no matter what side of the field you are on, whether you are voting one way or another, I think everyone has just become so obsessed with everything going on that it's causing so much hate and depression and anxiety. And I know that I even had lunch with two of my Port Washington food critic residents today that I take around with me to do a segment. And they just both looked at me and they said, we just want this to be over. You know, we just want this to be over one way or another because everyone's just so obsessed. And it's, you know, if you call your friends, if you call your family, it's right on the background and the TV and the music and it's just, it's some obsession with Facebook. And it's like, I've taken a.
I don't ever want it to end. I'm loving this.
Well, you and I have very different opinions.
This is great. This is great TV. This is what it's all about.
But what about the well-being of the people that are watching?
Huh? What, Cass? I'm sorry.
What about the mental health and the well-being of those that are watching that are actually having I think
there's other things in life to worry about, like COVID-19 and other things, and unemployment and a few other things. I don't think the debate or what's going on in politics. I mean, if you can't handle politics or you can't listen to the TV, turn it off, right? That's it, turn it off. That's all you got to do. Change the channel. You don't like it, change the channel. I love it. Like, that's just me. I love it.
I'm totally fatigued by it. Totally.
Yeah, I understand it, but all you have to do is change the channel.
My plan is not to watch it.
I don't think it's so much the channel that you have to change, because whether I watch it or not, that doesn't mean that my life and the world around me is not going to be so hyper focused on it. It's all that people eat, sleep, and breathe. And like I said, I think it's created so much division and so much hate and so much stress and anxiety that I think one way or the other, it just needs to be over, and people need to just swallow whatever outcome there is. I know that, going back on the fact that, you say change the channel, like it's an easy thing. There are people, especially living in the city, living in Manhattan. My mother is one of them. I have a 16-year-old brother and a mother who live right sandwiched in between two Trump properties. One is Trump International and the other is the Trump buildings on West End Avenue in the 60s. And they're leaving town. They're not staying in Manhattan because they don't feel that regardless of who wins and who loses, it's a ticking time bomb, that there's going to be riots, that there's going to be, and while I appreciate that you find, the fun in it, there are some people that are truly scared to go outside during the elections.
There's already riots. There's already looting. There's already burning. What's not happening already?
Well, Adam, I think that's kind of the point that we're looking at is
why would I subject my family to that?
I'm concerned for our country right now.
I'm
concerned about the division and the fact that and reading these articles, rentals out on Long Island, rentals have never been higher. And
Correct.
People are all renting places around the debates and around the elections because they really are nervous about what might happen in New York City. That's crazy.
It's already happening in New York City. There's already looting, there's already theft, there's already burning, there's already muggings, everything's already happening. It's already happening. It's not.
Somebody like my mother and my brother
just leaving after the election. People are already getting the hell out. They're already looking for places to get out. It's not just happening now. It's been happening. Half the apartments in New York City are already empty. It didn't just happen now.
Well, for the safety and well-being of my mother and my little brother, they feel like it is safer to come out to Long Island, where I currently live, and not be in the middle of two Trump properties. They also think that supermarkets are going to be really hectic because people are going to be stocking up. So they want me to do a whole supermarket shop early. And, whether that's happening or not anywhere else or has been happening, it's something that people have genuine concerns of. And again, doesn't matter what side you are on. You should not be subject to violence, hate, and you should be able to feel safe.
I agree, but I agree 100%. So then let's stop the hate. Let's stop the rioting. Let's stop the looting. Let's stop the mugging. Let's stop it all. That's it. It's that simple.
How do we do that?
Huh?
And it's both sides, so it's not one or the
Yeah,
other.
how do we do that?
Mhm.
I would say get de Blasio the hell out. That's my opinion. I think he's the worst mayor in the history of New York. My opinion.
Okay, well, we were going to stay away from a little of that, but it's almost hard. How would you not stay away? How do you stay away from these things? I know it's tough. We always try to be not political, but Adam, you're allowed to take sides. That's what you
Well,
feel.
this is also a really good example of why it's probably a good idea that the mics are going to be muted tonight at the debate. So what do we think about that?
I think it's terrible. Let people talk. Let them have their say. I don't
Yeah,
get
I mean,
that.
we just had a perfect example of I was talking and you cut me off. So obviously it can't happen that way. Right?
Well, just equal time. That's all, Cass. Equal time.
They do have equal time. They've always had equal time, right?
Cass, listen to me. When you tell me someone's moving out because they live in between two Trump properties, it just doesn't make sense. People are moving
I
out.
didn't say moving out. Don't twist my words. I didn't say moving out.
Well, wherever they're going, looking to go somewhere, whatever, because they're in between two.
They're temporarily vacating and getting out of the area because they think the area is a time bomb and could get really unsafe.
Could
And
get
that's
volatile,
terrible.
yeah.
It's already a time bomb. Have any of you guys been in New York lately? I have. Has anyone? Has
I
anyone?
was there today.
Have you seen the homeless there? Have you seen what's going on in Penn
Yeah.
Station? Have you seen
nothing new.
and
Right.
peeing all over the
Absolutely.
place?
Mhm.
Have you seen what's going on? That's what's going on, people. If you haven't gone down there, then go down and look. I've been down there.
I was just at the Lucerne, and that's kind of the center of the homeless debate there, the Lucerne. But first, Camille, you started to say something. I want to make sure we're polite and
No, I was just going to say that I was there today, and there are a lot of homeless people there, and it's been happening for quite a while.
Agreed.
But I also saw today that there's an article out on the internet I read, because like I said, I'm an avid news junkie. I read today that anybody who has properties out east are heading out there.
Oh yeah,
They're all beginning to leave, and they're saying it's getting so packed over there. There's nothing available there anymore. So if they have property, they're all skipping out of the city because they really are afraid of what's going to happen. So I don't think it's just Cassie's mother. I think it's a lot of people who are getting out there.
I do want to just reiterate that I was born and raised in Manhattan, and I lived there for most of my life, and I visit quite often. I was born and raised in the same place that my mother's currently living, and the homeless and the stuff that's going on there. I remember being a little girl and walking through Columbus Circle, and there were homeless people sleeping on the streets and on the church steps. So that's nothing new. But I also just
wait.
Can I finish my statement ever? Can I ever finish what I'm saying?
It's a ridiculous statement. You're trying to compare 2020 with 1980 or 1990. Whatever.
First of all, I was born in 87, so let's not call me older than I am. Right. Second of all, I'm just saying this is not something new that's been going on. Third, I just wanted to go back on the mic being muted, is that they're only going to be muted during the 2 minutes the initial question is being asked. Then they will have their free and equal time to go and run rampant.
Hey, listen, with that, can we bring our ace researcher in here? Deanna, are you available?
Hello.
Hey, Deanna.
Hi.
Hi. So all these statistics about people vacating the city because they're worried during the election. I mean, how crazy that we're going to have an election that we have to worry that afterwards it's not the smooth, gentle transition and handing off of power or moving of power, but everyone's worried about that. But you've been bringing up great statistics and everything all day with the stuff you've been researching.
Yeah, well, I think the moving away thing is a combination of what both Adam and Cassie were saying, because people since the beginning of the pandemic, so around March, have been moving out of New York City just because initially they felt safer outside of the city because New York City was the biggest hotspot in the country for a while, especially in April. People are moving out east and upstate then. And now people are moving out east and also upstate. They're just kind of flocking away from New York City because of everything going on. So it is a mix of both things. But it's not fully political, but in a situation where, like Cassie's mother is in between two Trump buildings, I understand the reasons to want to get out because it's two Trump buildings. No matter which side you're on, it is a target in general. Just it's a hot spot.
Who is it a target by? I'm just curious. Who is it a target by?
I'm going to just put it out this way. every time you drive by a Trump building, no matter when it is, there's the NYPD cars outside just because.
And why are they there?
Well, it's because he's the president.
Okay.
It's a precautionary thing. And
wait, hold on. I'm getting to a point. Let me get. Are Trump supporters gonna go in and destroy Trump's buildings? Is that the one who they're scared of? Trump supporters?
Well, I wouldn't say Trump supporters would go and destroy the building.
Who would it be then?
People that are opposed to Trump. But on the other hand,
well, they'll destroy the Trump buildings. The people that oppose to Trump.
Nobody said that though. That's such an unfair statement.
You got to get away from the Trump buildings.
That's not a statement that I made. No, don't put words in my mouth. You got to get away from the Trump building because you don't know what's going to happen. Which means
you have to get aren't for Trump. People who are for Trump aren't going to destroy Trump's buildings. It's the people who don't like Trump that are going to destroy Trump's buildings. People who are for Trump will destroy everything else. How about that? Is that better? Of course they will. Of course they will. That's it. That's it. If you're for Trump, you're supporters are destroying New York City. You're right. They're burning it. They're looting it.
Oh, I don't think that's what Cassie said.
So that's not what I said.
All Trump supporters are destroying everything else.
No, Adam, nobody has said that. I haven't heard that here at all.
No.
That's not fair.
Hey, we lost you, Cassie.
I'm sure.
I'm out.
So listen, I want to chime in with something. And this is my biggest concern. Having worked in the news for most of so many years of my career at CBS News and other places, the one of the things that I've looked at and that we see is that there are third parties that are involved that are going in the term destabilizing America. And we are becoming destabilized with these other groups. Some have names. I'm sorry we lost Adam there if we get him back. But Antifa, which is being heralded as well or spoken about as, well, this is kind of a made-up group, but it's a destabilizing force. That there are things coming in that are destabilizing us as Americans now. And that's and I hate that we're getting, Trump versus non-Trump and all of that. It's I'm looking and saying, what's happening on another level? Our other interests, the Russians, we're hearing about the Russians hacking our elections. And now other, besides Chinese, I forgot the other. Iran. That Iran is now coming in and hacking us. So I'm not so worried about real Americans, regardless of what side you're on. I don't think real Americans are the things that we have to worry about. I think we're being attacked from within, from people who are not really Americans. That's my biggest concern.
I just want to go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, Cassie.
I just want to clarify my point now that I can sort of speak. The thing I was saying was it doesn't matter if you are for Trump, against Trump, for Biden, against Biden. My mother is not fleeing the city because she feels that people are going to attack the Trump buildings. She's not fleeing the city because she feels like Biden supporters are going to do this or Trump supporters are going to do this if he loses. My mother just wants to get out of harm's way, period. And a lot of Americans and a lot of New Yorkers are feeling that way. They are feeling that there is so much division, there is so much hatred, that it doesn't matter what side you're on, even if it's in the Starbucks corner or there's no guarantee that one person with one sign and another person with another sign, no matter where in the city you are going to just punch each other in the face because they don't like what their signs say. So regardless of whether they're sandwiched in between Joe Biden's properties or Trump's properties or Elmo's properties, she just doesn't feel comfortable. And I think making light of a person's safety or feelings and making it into a liberal attack on Trump thing, that's really unfair because, it's a personal thing. It's not a political thing.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And I think your mother has to go with her gut instinct of what she feels safe about. And she has a son, too, that she's taken care of. So it's first and foremost safety of your family and yourself. And if her gut instinct is telling her to leave the city, she should. Because it's one thing I've learned. I read a book called The Gift of Fear a long time ago. And it always says that your instinct is always usually right. Don't ignore it. Because
Yeah.
if your gut instinct tells you something, go with it. And
Yeah.
I finally learned, like when I'm on the train and I'm uncomfortable sitting next to somebody, and they said it usually happens with women, mostly, is get up and leave, go to another car. If you feel it, don't stay there and try to be the polite person you're taught to be as a woman, but go with your instinct.
Yeah, we have
And
other senses and voices that are protecting us. That you need to
absolutely. And we tend to brush it aside, and it's not right. Generally, a lot of women who didn't go with their gut instinct had a lot of things happen to them, even though intuitively they knew something was wrong. So I'm a firm believer in if your instinct is telling you to do it, you do it.
Yeah. Deanna, you going to say something?
I was just going to say that I think kind of out of an abundance of caution, if you feel like it's safer to move, it's safer to move. If you feel like you don't have to, you don't have to. But someone moving for their own safety really doesn't impact anyone else's life. And if they feel like it's best.
But and hey, hold on a second. Did we lose Adam? And we need to bring Jimmy in here because Jimmy's on hold.
I will gladly bring on Mr. Jimmy James to promo his show.
Okay, Cassie, what were you going to say just now, Cassie?
No, I was just going to say, I think that it kind of goes back to why the country is so divided is because somebody like my mother, who we were just talking about, wanting to for her safety, I almost feel like by the statements that Adam was making, it's kind of like a bully statement. It's like bullying her to stay put and be where she. It's that bully mentality, and I think that if we didn't have that, then my mom could do whatever she pleases, and we could all smile and move on with our lives.
And your mom can.
She will. She will. I'll pick
She
her up.
doesn't need anybody's permission.
Yeah.
No.
So listen, we've been joined by Jimmy James, and hi, Jimmy. I think, but just before you say, did we lose Adam? We lost Adam.
Yep.
Okay. So hey, Jimmy, how you doing? What are you eating?
Hey,
what are you eating? I'm hungry now. What are you eating?
I'm eating Chick-fil-A because there's nothing more American than that.
The Chick-fil-A?
That's right.
Not
Okay.
McDonald's? I would have said McDonald's is a little bit more American than Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, but McDonald's is too expensive.
Willie Deagle would want me to say Uncle Jack's, and I believe Uncle Jack's is the most American place to eat, the most American food. Willie Deagle, he's our American guy. So
listen, so just really quickly, just sitting back and listening to or trying to understand the conversation that has been going in a million different directions. First and foremost, I don't think people are leaving New York for any other reason than we're the highest taxed state in the country, or one of the top three. So that's why people are leaving. People have been leaving for 20 years. Most people just don't have the means to pick up and leave because of COVID or because of an election. The contentious election of 2016, people running around like chickens without a head saying it's going to be the end of the world and Trump's going to do this and Trump's going to take away all of our rights. And it's been 4 years and everybody's still here. And, I just feel like there's a lot of unnecessary fear mongering that's taking place from both sides, respectfully. And I just, you don't run away because you think something's going to happen. You hold your ground, you protect your family, and you vote, which is our most inalienable right. And then you go to work the next day, and that's it. We have all this the debate talk and all the election coverage on TV. You know what? Before 2016, very few young people were even knew anything about politics. I think it's a beautiful thing that so many people are getting so involved with their civic duties. Naturally with that comes a little bit of hatred and division. A little more so since May when George Floyd was killed. But you know what? There was rioting and looting that's been going on in all the major cities across the country since May and June. And, it's been bad, but we're still here. So, for anybody that thinks that, we're not going to be here on November 4th, just, chill out. Turn the TV off, read a book.
I don't think
And-
anybody thinks that they're not
My
doing
plans for tonight.
Yeah. Well, with every
Deanna?
presidential election, there are the people that are unhappy with who was elected. I remember seeing pictures from after Obama was elected where they were doing all these things. I know there was this one rally where they fake hung him, but then you have the pictures of Kathy Griffin with holding Trump's severed head. No matter who wins, someone's going to be upset. And I think the best thing to remember is that we are a system of checks and balances. Donald Trump doesn't have the power to take away all of your rights. He's not going to make it go back to when women didn't have the right to vote. And I think if we all...
There's a growing number of women who are supporting the Republicans and the conservatives and the Trump campaign. I mean, I just came from a rally in Belmore out in Long Island. There must have been 1,000 people there. And this was like a last minute thing. And I would say that 70% of the crowd was women. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get our young people involved. And I've seen so many young children over the past couple weeks, all these rallies and car parades I've been going to. Last Sunday, I drove from Nassau County at Valley Stream at the Green Acres Mall all the way to the Montauk Lighthouse.
Wow.
There were, they counted, there were 10,461 cars, 30 miles worth of cars, tens of thousands of people involved. You know, every poll has Joe Biden up by double digits. And I got to tell you, I know we're not supposed to be having a partisan conversation here, but, you know, you can't put a lid on your campaign on a Monday morning and say that I'm not going to make any appearances or videos or anything until the debate on Thursday night and think that you have a shot. And this has been going on for months with Joe Biden and his campaign. There's no enthusiasm. There's no crowds. There's no flags. And listen, you know, I've been a conservative guy my whole life, but, 10 years ago, if I would have told you, hey, let's go do a car parade for George Bush, everybody would have laughed at me. You know, this is something we've never seen before. And I think it's great. I think it's great that young people and old people and white, black, gay, transgender, everybody is coming together. They're walking away from the Democratic Party. They're coming out and they're excited about what's happening in our country. You know, I look at it as his campaign being a revolution. You know, 4 years from now, if Trump gets elected on November 3rd, someone else is going to have to run for office, and it's not going to be Trump, but it's going to be in the likeness of his movement and his campaign. That I think the Republican Party that's the road they're headed down, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Jimmy, let me chime in with that. So, yeah. Okay, with that understanding from you, thank you. There used to be. You're saying everybody's coming together. Everybody's coming together. Republican. I don't know that the statistics would bear that out, but I do know one thing: that America is changing. There was in my youth and growing up, and in the presidential elections in the past, there was the old saying, "Well, okay, whoever got elected, we're going to stick by him. Whoever does get elected as our president, we're going to stick by that president." And that was a unified America. We don't have that anymore. It's no matter who gets elected, there's going to be that division that's going to not stick by them. And I hate seeing that. I hate
keeping your vote a secret was also kind of an unwritten rule years ago too. You know, you didn't discuss who you voted for in the voting.
Yeah, that's true. So we made this promise that we were going to keep it to a half hour. I want to thank everybody. Jimmy, I'm glad we were able to get you in. Cassie, thank you. Cassie, you have something to say before we go?
I do, because I think that was a pretty bold statement. I just want to say that while I respect greatly your opinion of this being a beautiful thing, I want to back up and make sure that we're on the same page here about what is a beautiful thing. The division in our country, the fact that
Nope. I think it's a beautiful thing that people of all ages and races and colors and creeds, no matter what side you're on, are getting involved in our political system, in our government, in the way things are run in this country. They're doing their own research about everything from, illegal immigration to Roe versus Wade to, unemployment. And, people have been so affected. 4 or 5 years ago, you could ask someone a basic civics question, civics, which they don't even teach in school anymore. and they wouldn't even know what to tell you. Or, hey, let me Google it real quick. People are getting involved. They're getting educated on both sides. You know, you got the politicians at the top on both sides that are spreading, false equivalencies and untruths and lies. But that's just part of the game. Like I said, there's always gonna be hate and division. I think there's more hate and division on one side than the other. But I think getting involved in your civic duties, and voting it's the great. It's a great
of this being a beautiful thing. I'm
on both sides that are spreading.
Well, listen, and we're getting a little feedback. Everybody's hearing that, but so listen, Jimmy, thank you. Cassie, thank you.
I just
Camille.
want to quickly, and I think, Diana, we can sort of end on this note. I think that the importance of this forum we have going on tonight is the importance of voting. Whomever you are going to vote for, however you are going to vote, whether it be mail-in ballot, whether it be early voting, whether it be voting on November 3rd, I think it is so, so important this election, more so than ever. Everybody, please do what you can to get your vote in. And again, if you can volunteer in any way, shape, or form at your local polling places, go ahead and do that. But voting
Get out and vote. No excuses.
And therein, right there, lies the beauty of where two people can come together, where Jimmy and Cassie are agreeing about the involvement and being involved and getting out there and vote, making
No
sure
excuses.
that we
Right.
the people means we, the people, means you, me, all of us. In order to maintain America that we know and love and we want to keep strong, we have to all participate. What Jimmy's talking about, what Cassie's talking about, what Camille, what all of us are talking about, we have to make sure that we get out there and vote and participate. So I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we're all going to go watch a very interesting debate and see how this thing goes with the microphones being muted. But thank you all again. I appreciate that you guys took the time to join us. I'm sorry we lost Adam. But
you can catch Adam's show, Commonsensical, every Thursday night at 9 p.m. We're just doing a special tonight, but you can catch him next Thursday, 9 p.m. Commonsensical with Adam Barnett.
And Jimmy, I want to make sure that we let everybody know, Jimmy, we're looking forward to your show. You're going to be a man on the street taking a microphone.
Yeah, we're still coming up with a name. Maybe we'll do a poll on the Bayside Live TV page and see what people think we should call my new show. And
Jimmy
we'll
James
get it started real soon.
Okay,
please, everybody, if you can, tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. We are doing a fundraising comedy show at the Bandshell, John Philip Sousa Memorial Bandshell here in Port Washington. It was rain delayed last Friday, and we have it going on tomorrow. It's for a good cause. It is to raise money, and Greg is hysterically laughing. But
only because we're all kind of getting our faces in the picture. We had the graphic in the middle, so all of us are kind of leaning sideways to get our faces in the picture. But Cassie, I'm loving it. I'm so looking forward to the comedy thing.
Me
too. Great job.
Thank you.
And as always, big round of applause to Diana, our executive producer.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. And thank you, Camille. We lost Camille, but okay. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Signing off. Let's go watch the debate and see how it goes. Talk to you all later.